My question is, as a young professional, what are your truths? Do you have a philosophy that you independently live your lives by?
That directed?
It's a wonderful question. I mean, I wish being the least interesting person up here, I'll answer quickly. I just try and have a lot of gratitude. I mean, personally, I feel I'm so lucky to be able to do the thing I love for work, which is such a rare thing. And so I try and be grateful in terms of that and the people around me who I love.
Kate, you got a thought on that?
I guess I try and maintain my curiosity. But I like what Dan was saying about the difference between cynicism and skepticism. I might adopt that.
Bob?
What was the question?
What's
Personal
your
philosophy of life.
Philosophy.
Well, I think... Why don't you ask first? I got to think about this, Dan. Why don't you ask first?
I
want me to fill in for you?
I long ago made my peace with what happened with CBS, and it happened 10 years ago, and I'm long past that. But one of the things I took away from that experience was to ask myself the same question you've just asked me. That, what's at your core? What is your ethos? And I've tried much harder. Others will have to judge how successful. To be into humility, modesty, gratitude, and forgiveness, mercy, and try to keep myself centered on those things. At the same time, covering frequently awful happenings, natural disasters, wars, really the underside of society, that I think as a younger reporter, I didn't concentrate as much on those core values as I've been able to do in later years.
Okay.
Yes.
It took me a while to wrap my mind around what you were... I would say that the thing that interests me is the country that I grew up in and live in. And when I'm interested in that country. And when I got older and became an artist and then went into film, I decided I wanted to tell stories about the country I grew up in and how it changed and how I changed along with it. So because I grew up at a time, towards the end of the Second World War, there was a lot of red, white, and blue propaganda about how great we were. We were great. We are a great country. But as time went on, when somebody told me, because I was in sports, somebody said, well, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, but how you play the game. And being in sports, I found out that was a lie, that everything mattered as to whether you won or not. And so I decided years later, I want to make films about the truth about this country, which is really more in a gray area. There was a gray zone below all the red, white, and blue propagandic stuff. And the gray zone was where life was more complex. And I got interested in that, and I wanted to tell stories from that area where it's more complicated. And so I think that's my answer to your question. I committed myself to that.
That's a fantastic way to wrap this up. I want to thank this incredible panel for this amazing performance.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dan. Excellent.